Yeah. We out here. It's another episode of that Victory Talk podcast. New episode, new president, new era. You know what I'm saying? Everything new. We about to show you how to ball 2025. We're going to start working on your 2025 financial goals today in this episode. Let's start the show. Yeah. This is episode 158 of that Victory Talk podcast. I am your host, Big Brandon Carter, BBC, King Keto, the King of Ketosis, Gymnasium Jesus, Jesus de Gimnasio para mi gente. All right. And I'm joined by my co-host, Nima, straight out of Iran.
Let's go.
You know what it is. And then on the he runs the show. Right. There's like 27 cameras here. I don't know how to even turn these motherfuckers on. Never turned them on. I just paid for them. Show them all the camera angles.
So we have this one. Mm-hmm. We have this one.
Come on, man.
We have this one.
Come on, man.
We have this one.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Fucking diagonal. Switch the view on these hoes, man. Then he can show my, you don't have to show, but he can show my laptop. He can show my iPad that I draw on, man. We wouldn't be able to do this shit without him, man.
Appreciate it.
Come on now. And then also we got, behind every strong man, some fucking chick. But this ain't just any chick. This is my beautiful, amazing, smart, and intelligente girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? She's manning the Superchats. You know what I'm saying? Making sure if y'all talk shit, y'all get kicked out, banished, banned, exiled forever, indefinitely. You know what I'm saying? But all your Superchats, she gonna read them out loud. You know what it is. All right. So there's a lot we want to get into today, man. I'm gonna show you how to ball. We got a new president, new administration, a new era. I mean, we kind of went through this before, but we're doing it again. With Trump, we're gonna show you how to win during the Trump administration. All right. We show you how to ball out here. All right. Now, before we get into that, I got a message from my sponsors. Right. It's a few sponsors. I got a few sponsors. Nima, we got sponsors for this episode.
It took us 158
episodes. We really got sponsors, man. You listen, good things come if you work hard, right? So the first sponsor is the newsletter Big Money Methods. This is the free newsletter that will show you methods on how you can make big money, right? And so you just click the link in the bio, in the description, and put your email in here, then hit subscribe, right? And twice a week, you're going to get articles to help you improve as a man, written by the homie Sean. I know a lot of you guys love having facial hair. So he wrote an article to help you guys with that. You know what I'm saying? That's never been people ask me, how come you don't grow facial hair? It's just because all my idols never had it. Like growing up, The Rock, Michael Jordan. Yeah, I grew up in Chicago in the 90s. Michael Jordan, Jay-Z, James Bond, Batman, Superman, Lex Luthor, Voldemort, all my idols didn't have no facial hair. So I'd never been compelled to, but I know it's a big deal for a lot of you guys. So Sean, you got an article to help you with that, man. My homie Chris, man, is one of my top salespeople. He wrote an article, how to rewire your brain for long-term thinking and detach from instant gratification. You need to do that, man. And I wrote an article about sales, right? How you can get better at sales, start making some of this money, because that's one of my strong suits. All right. So So make sure you subscribe to that newsletter immediately. All right. Now we also have another sponsor. All right. It's a product Neem and I've been working on for what has it been like? It feels like a decade now.
It's been 2 years. Yeah.
It's been 2 years of us like working just R&D development, a lot of clinical trials, a lot of animal trials, human mistrials.
You couldn't do some of them in US.
We couldn't do it in some of this stuff's not legal to do in United States. We didn't break any laws.
Yep.
We just went to countries where the shit was legal. Saudi Arabia, Sudan. We had to go to Antarctica for some of this shit. For some of the experiments, man, because they ain't got laws out there. But we ain't break no laws. So you can rest assured. But we finally perfected the product, the formula for this product. And it's called Thot Repellent. Yes. Thot Repellent is the easy to apply spray to keep the hose away. Right. What you don't want to do. Okay. So how this works is good women, they'll just think you have an amazing aroma or aura. I think that's what the kids are saying. Right. They're just, man, you smell delicious. What is that? You smell like Riz. That's what the kids are saying? Is that what Riz is? I think so. Anyway, good women will be like, you smell good. But Thots, they'll smell this and they'll be repelled. That's what it's called. So the Thots can't get too close to you because they'll get into your life, infiltrate your life, get their hooks on you, and then ruin your life from the inside out. That's what they do. So this will repel. This is genetically engineered to only affect the DNA of Thots, sluts, hoes, skanks, scallywags. Last time I checked, it works on Jezebels and skeezers. And after the last trial, it also we've also added hood rats. So hood rats get repelled too. But good women, right? Good women, they're gonna be like, man, you smell amazing. What is that smell? You must got Riz. You smell like you got Riz. I think I'm using that right. And they'll be more attracted to you. But the bad women, they won't want to be around you, which is good. We want to repel them, right? Keep them out of our lives. So we're gonna have pre-orders soon. Before this month is over, pre-orders will be end of this month, top of next month. We'll have pre-orders, and this way it'll make a great gift for the holiday season. Stocking stuffer. Get some for your father, right? Get some for your nephews, right? Get some for your kids. My son is 7. I'm gonna have him bathing in this shit, man. So them little Thots don't try to, your dad's Big Brandon Carter. And they start thotting around my son trying to fuck up his brain. Nah, man, can't have that. Can't have that, man. At the playground. Trying to no, don't bring no Thots home, son. Gotta have good women. Anyway, this is gonna be a pre-order, it's gonna be out. But we need your help, guys. All your super chats are gonna go towards the product development so we can get more of this, because the demand for this is skyrocketed since we've been talking about it. The demand is sky high, right? So in order to make sure it happens, your super chats are going to go towards it. So all your super chats are going to go towards the development of Thot Repellent. And I think there are some heroes who have already contributed. Let's go ahead and answer these. Blow my nose. I got seasonal allergies.
Ew. We have JT coin rings. My donation to Thot Repellent, $2.
That's all he said.
That's all he said.
All right, shout out to Mr. Coin Rings.
And we still don't know what he's pointing at.
I figured out what Coin Rings is pointing at. It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma. All right. One day we'll figure it out. But it's you know what? I think the victim neighbors need to find out what he's pointing at. It might be a riddle. It might be a clue. He might have that might be like the keys to the universe, man. Who knows, man? All right, what else we got?
We have Players Lounge. If I'm working 3 jobs, how can I have time to master my skill day trading? I hear you need 4 hours to get good at a skill. I only get 30 minutes max.
Well, first of all, there's 2 parts to that, right? So you need 4 hours a day to get good fast, right? To get good fast, right? It might just take you longer, right? Because you got to devote more time to something else. Now, part 2 of that may be, hey, brother, perhaps you got to schedule your time better. So I schedule every hour of every day in my calendar. My whole day is choreographed. And it's just imagine what your life would be like. All of you guys, if you didn't waste time, if you weren't lazy, if you didn't skip workouts, if you tracked your macros, right? If you didn't like fuck up, you know, if you actually did the shit you know you're supposed to do all the time and you stayed focused throughout the day, every day, how much more success could you squeeze out of each day? How much closer to accomplishing your goals would you be now if you had been doing that all year? Just think about it, man. Everybody, listen, brother, I know, brother, Mr. Players Lounge. I know you got an hour a day somewhere that you bullshitting, scrolling the internet, you know, doing something, playing a video game. If you start weaponizing that time towards your goals, I bet you can find more than 30 minutes. I bet you there's a way you can find more than 30 minutes. Every one of you, you know what I'm saying? All right. But yeah, but if what you say is true and all you got is 30 minutes, then all you got is all you got. You know, and you just got to make the most. Where you are is where you are. You got to make the most out of your situation, if that's true. But I just have a difficult time to believing that that's all you can do. But shout out to you for working 3 jobs. You know what I mean, man? Like I love that. Is when people come up to me in the street like, yo, man, I started working more jobs because of you, because I your advice. I'm like, yo, that's I hear it all the time. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's the easiest way to stop being poor is just work more. Just work more, man. Work more. And what the beautiful thing about it is you start building habits. So when I was fucking when I was fucking up, I mean, not when I was fucking, when I was broke, I just worked 80 hours a week. After a year or two doing that, I wasn't broke no more, but I kept working 80 hours a week. And that's why I'm rich. And we're gonna in this next segment, I'm gonna tell you how you guys can get rich in 2025. Let's get into it. Yo, hold up, man. What did we find? We found out what Coin Rings was holding. We found out what he was holding. Did we find out? I think we found out what he was holding.
Yeah, he's holding a ring.
Should have known. That's a coin ring. That's a coin. Now we need to find out what that ring is. Is it a wedding ring? Is it like the shit from Lords of the Rings? Is it a motherfucking? Is there infinity stone on that shit? Is it the rings that motherfucker had in the fucking Kung Fu dude had in the Marvel movie? Like, what kind of rings we got, man? Like, I don't know. I got more questions now. That didn't give me any. The answer caused me to have more questions. Maybe we'll figure it out one day. Maybe we won't. Hey, let's get into it. All right. All right, so check it out. We got a new president. There's a new regime coming in. And depending on what side of the aisle you are either super excited about that or you're super devastated. Or if you're like me, you're like, hey, I was going to find a way to win either way. I wasn't really tripping. However, the market has spoken. So since Trump was elected, right, the market has skyrocketed just on the news of him getting elected. So let's check this out. You can show this. Yeah. Since the election, we're going to ignore the Dogecoin shit, but look at all the stocks that are up. But what I want you to focus on is S&P 500 is up, the dollar is up, small cap stocks are up, the bank stocks are up, Bitcoin is way up, right? And volatility is down. The volatility index is down 27%. The market has pretty much spoken, right? And there's got to be a reason why the financial markets have. Oh, and there's got to be a reason why the financial markets have responded so positively to a Trump victory, right? Because they think it's going to be good for the economy, right? So, and this is not some political shit. I don't give a fuck about no political shit, right? I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm not green. I'm not green. I hear about green states, blue states. I hear about red states, blue states. Man, I'm in a green state of mind. I'm all about getting that money. All right. So how do we capitalize off this in 2025? All right. So one of my boys, he posted something on Instagram. Now take this with a grain of salt because he's a hardcore Republican. Hold on. Let me pull this up. I should have had this up already. Oh, fuck. I can't pull it up. All right. Well, fuck that shit. All right. Never mind. Oh, I can do it on my iPad. On your phone. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let me find this, brother. Hold on. Let me find it first. Hold on, because I want you to see this. It made me think this was the inspiration for this episode. All right. What this motherfucker post, man? All right, check this out. Will you be able to hear it on my iPad? Maybe if I play it loud and I'll put it next to the. It should have audio too, actually. Let's see what happens. Maybe not. Can you increase the volume on the side? Maybe it's on silent. Nah. Fuck. All right. Well, you can't. We can't hear it. Sorry. But anyway, basically. Damn, I really wanted to show that. What if you share their display from your phone on the laptop? Will that work? All right, let's see. I want to show you what he said, man, because it resonated with me. Worst case, you can just play it on your phone and. Hold up, man. Find this shit. Hold on. I apologize. This is why a lot of people don't do this shit live. All right. So now I hit the display shit, right? All right. All right. So you can. All right. Let's do it. We should be able to do it.
I just want to give you a heads up. You got about 6 months to get your shit together and 4 years to capitalize on the fact that you took the next 6 months to get your shit together. You see, just a week after the election, crypto back on fire, stock market back on fire. The feds are going to adjust the interest rate because Trump's already beefing with Powell. They're going to get the mortgage market dialed back in. They're already talking about putting mandates on credit card interest limits. Cash is about to be everywhere. Once again, lower taxes, lower interest rates. These are things that drive an economy. You got about 6 months to prepare yourself and your business for this, and you'll be able to ride it out for the next 4 to 6 years, assuming war doesn't break out. In the meantime, you need to capitalize on this unique opportunity because we may never get this again. We fumbled it a little bit before. We fumbled it from 2016.
Okay. That's enough, right? Now, mind you, he's a hardcore. Hold on. Keep in mind, he's a hardcore Republican. You could tell that by looking at him, right? but I believe that. Right. And the one reason I believe that is because the market has spoken, like the financial markets have spoken, like just him getting elected. Right. So I really believe we're about to be in an economic boom. Now, this may have some ramifications down the line that we might have to pay for years later. Right. Because I don't want to get too political, but, you know, if the interest rates get lower. When the interest rates get lower like that and it's all this cash everywhere, the way he says, well, doesn't help inflation, right? So we're going to have to pay for that at some point. The interest rates are going to have to go back up at some point, right? But now we need to capitalize while we got a window, a window's about to open up. And Trump is going to do whatever I believe this in my heart. Trump will do whatever he can to keep the economy roaring while he's president. If nothing else, for his ego. If nothing else, so he can say he did it. He doesn't give a fuck what happens after he leaves. Right? So we got 4 years to make this shit happen. And I want to talk about how we can capitalize on this. All right. So here's the strategy I'm gonna lay out for you. Oh, nope, I picked the wrong pen. They updated this app, bro. And it's weird. I don't understand it no more. But anyway, all right. So this is gonna be a 3-pronged attack. Fuck, I can make that one better. You know what? Maybe I can just draw the shapes. I can just get the shapes. Which one is it? This one? Yeah, here we go. Oh shit. All right, maybe I can't. All right. There's a reason why nobody does this live. Nah, I'm gonna draw it. I got this. I can draw. I think I can draw a circle. I think I can draw 3 circles. All right. I believe in myself. All right, that one's not bad. Hey, I don't like that one. Sorry. Guys, just bear with me. That one's fine. Hey, I did it. All right, shout out to me. Okay. There's going to be a 3-pronged attack for you to ball in 2025, right? And I really do believe we're going to have a unique opportunity. When he said we may not get it again, I do believe that. Because I don't think the decisions that are made are going to be good long term. Right? I don't think you can. How does the country make money? Taxes, right? And if the taxes are super low for a significant amount of time, plus interest rates are super low, so there's a lot of money. If you don't make money, if you don't get rich during these next 4 years, I think it's going to be a lot more difficult to get rich after these 4 years. All right. But anyway. All right. So the first thing you need to do is control spending. Right. So what I mean by this is, I made my first million during the Obama administration. Right. I was a millionaire. But if you look at those old videos during that time, I was still living in a small crib in Queens with a cat running around. Right. And I wasn't out here flexing. I was wearing an Apple Watch, no shirt, some brand Jordan joggers that I wore every day, every video. Right. I wasn't flexing, even though I was a millionaire. Why is that? Because the way you get rich is you make more money than you spend and invest the difference. The way you get rich is to make more money than you spend and invest the difference, right? So you need to control your. It's kind of like if you wanted to build muscle, you have to consume more calories than you burn. You have to be in a caloric surplus, right? Right. It's the same thing with money. I want you to think about it that kind of way, right? You need to make more money than you spend. So we need to put a cap on spending. Now is the next 4 years is not the time for you to be flexing hard. Right. It's not the time to buy Lambos because the interest rates are low. It's not the time to increase your living expenses. Right. It's really the time. It's really the time to actually. I don't want to say you impose I don't want to advocate austerity. But I want you to be very conscientious about your spending during these years, right? Because if you can make way more than you spend and invest the difference, especially if you can invest it during these 4 years, I really believe you're going to get some amazing returns that are going to be astronomical. But if you spend the money on bullshit, then it's going to be difficult for you to succeed under those circumstances, right? So first thing we need to do is we need to start tracking spending. We need to track our spending. Yeah. Track spending. right? So if you watch my videos from like a decade ago, I was talking about tracking every dollar I spend with mint.com, right? However, mint.com shut down, right? So now we use Monarch. You want to use Monarch to track every dollar you're spending, both in your business and your personal life, just every dollar, right? And try to cut out everything that's unnecessary. Unnecessary subscriptions, any bullshit, really try to just cut spending. I'm not telling you to start clipping coupons or bragging about making your own coffee, right? We're not talking about like legit austerity, but we are talking about putting a cap on how much we're going to spend right now, because right now we want to do hardcore investing. Straight up. If you don't need it, don't buy it, right? We're not flexing. All right. And we want to track spending as much as we want. Then we want to make sure you do not increase lifestyle. I don't care how much more money you make, how much you borrow, do not increase your lifestyle. Do that shit in 5 years. So whatever crib you living in, keep living in that shit. Do not raise living expenses. One thing people do when they really one thing they do that really fucks people up is they start making some money and they immediately start increasing their living expenses, right? And then and because of that, they never are able to have enough to invest on the side, right? You want to keep your living expenses capped, right? We do not increase our living expenses. We want to increase our stockpile of fucking money, and we put that money to work, because that's how you get rich. Make more money than you spend and invest the difference. I'm going to say that maybe 1 trillion times in this video, right? And then the next tip we need to have 6 months of savings. So basically, you want to have enough money that you can survive for 6 months, because anything can happen. If you don't believe it, remember, there's something happened last time Trump was in office that shut down the fucking global economy for a little while, right? The C-19. What if some shit like that happens again, right? This is gonna give you a different kind of confidence, right? It's like your safety net. Imagine if you had to walk across a tightrope, right? If you don't have a safety net, you're probably going to have more trepidation than if you know you're going to be all right no matter what. 6 months of savings, right? Stack that up. So, but you need to know what your 6 months. When I say 6 months of savings, I mean you need to have enough money to cover your living expenses for 6 months. You need to have enough money to cover your living expenses for 6 months, right? And you do that when you track it. So track every dollar you spend, every dollar you make, right? The next thing you need to do, you might not want to hear this, but you want to work more. This is one of the reasons I don't go viral. I would go viral if I told you motherfuckers an easy, quick way to get rich, right? But I'm always talking about, hey man, work 80 hours a week, and it's not easy to market that, right? But work more. Why do you need to work more, right? Because the more you sweat during peace, the less you bleed during war. The more you sweat during peace, the less you bleed during war, right? Remember, I really believe we're about to enter a booming economic time, a bull market, the likes of which we may have not seen in a while, right? We need to have enough money to invest in it, right? A lot of you motherfuckers missed the last bull market because you were broke. You do not need this to happen to you, right? You need to make sure you're getting as much money as possible, right? So you need to be working 80 hours a week. $80 hours a week. Now, this is for people who want to get rich, right? Like, don't leave a comment. Don't make a reaction video talking about, man, life's not about that. Life's about this or that or that. Listen, if you have other priorities outside of getting rich, then I want you to focus on those and be happy, man. Like I'm super excited for you, right? If you found another way to get to be happy, or you have something else that you want to do outside of financial abundance, then go pursue that goal. This video is not for you. I don't know why you're here. You don't need to leave a comment saying you don't want to work that hard. You don't need to make some reaction video. This wasn't advice for you. You got the shit figured out, obviously. Right? This is for people who want to get fucking rich. Want to get rich. You know how many people are rich? Not a lot. Not a lot of people are rich. Right. So if you want to do something that most people haven't done, you have to do stuff that most people aren't doing or aren't willing to do. And one of those things is work 80 hours a week. If you do that, you should be able to double your income, right? Because the average American works, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American works about between 38 and 40 hours a week, right? So if we double that, you should double your income. How can you do that? Well, we got to look at the time exercise, right? I don't have to draw it. All right. There's 168 hours in every week. There are 168 hours in every week. If you sleep 8 hours a night, right, that's 56 hours, right? So that's going to leave you with 112 hours left. All right. Now, if you work 112 of those hours, you're going to have 36 hours left. 112 minus 80. Yeah. Is 36, 32. You're gonna have 32 hours left, right? That's still enough time to, kick it with your family, do whatever you need to do, have fun, play grab at. Who gives a fuck? Do whatever you want, right? Do whatever you want in those other 32 hours. But you got time. You got time. You actually just have to allocate that time better, right? I have videos on how to structure your time in Google Calendar and shit of that nature, right? It's very important. All right. If you do that, you should be able to make more money. You should be able to make more money. And then you can start investing that shit. Right. It's very important. Work 80 hours a week. All right. And then it kind of, it goes to control and spend. But what we want to do is invest half your income, at least half. You may be thinking, man, I can't live off half my income. You can't live off half your current income, because if you're like the average American, you're working 30, 40 hours a week, right? I'm telling you to double that, right? If you double the work, you should be able to double the income, right? I don't care what you do, right? Get a second job, get a third job, drive Ubers after work. Fucking do DoorDash after work. I don't give a fuck what you do, man. Work 80 hours a week and invest the other half, right? What do you invest in? We're going to talk about that later. We're going to talk about that later in the video, but invest half, because you got to remember, I really believe that we're going to enter. This is going to be, I believe this is going to be a period of time that we're going to look back and be like, damn, I wish. You're gonna look back at it, right? And you're gonna be, you're one of two things gonna happen. Like, damn, man, that was the time I really set up my family and myself for life. Or you're gonna look back and be like, damn, I really fumbled that opportunity, because that's what happened after the last recession in 2008. Everything was on sale, and I didn't have money because I was broke, because my father killed himself the year before, and I was broke, and I was working 80 hours a week during the recession, starting my business. And I didn't invest when things started to recover. When we entered like a decade-long bull market, I wasn't investing. I was not in the markets, at least. I was investing in my own business, and that worked out well for me. But I wish I would have had money in the markets back then. You think Tesla was cheap last year? Imagine what it was in 2008, 2009. I don't know if they IPO'd at that time or not, but mate, you think Apple was it was cheap last year? Imagine what it was in 2008. Imagine if I would have put money in it back then, right? I don't want that to happen to you. Some of y'all missed the last bull market. I don't want that to happen to you. And I know some of y'all maybe weren't even fucking old enough to invest back then, right? So you're probably looking at your parents, and you should look at them like, damn, motherfucker, you just missed that whole shit? What was you doing? What was you doing? You don't want your kids to look at you like that when we hit this one. All right. Invest half your income. Right. And again, in order to do more, you're going to have to plan you're going to have to plan your days in your calendar, planning your calendar. Because you're still going to have to do other stuff. You're still going to have to work out. You're still going to have to spend some time with your girlfriend, wife, children, right? And it's okay. You can do that. I'm not telling you to neglect anybody. I'm telling you to plan your life more. Right? You're going to have to, you don't sacrifice your children. You don't sacrifice your family. You don't sacrifice your spouse. You don't sacrifice sleep. You don't sacrifice health. What you do sacrifice is the bullshit, right? You do sacrifice the video games. You do sacrifice the clubbing. You do sacrifice the Pornhub, OF, or whatever other bullshit y'all fucking spending time doing on. You sacrifice the bullshit, right? In service of your goals, right? Don't sacrifice your family or your health. I'm not telling you not to do that. I'm telling you to sacrifice the bullshit, right? Just imagine a version of yourself that didn't waste time, that didn't fuck around, right? That maximized every hour of every day in service of their goals. Where you think you're going to, if you had been doing that for the last 2 years, where would you be right now? Probably be a lot better off, right? So let's do that for the next year. Let's do that for the next 365 days. I promise you, your whole fucking life will change. Your whole life will change if you fucking really plan out your time and squeeze as much success out of each day as possible. For the next 365 days, this time next year, you'll look back, you'll be a different person. People will be like, damn, man, he got lucky. Like, nah, man, I got fucking busy. I got to work. You know what I'm saying? All right. Yo, Young Candlestick, man, just hold on for a second, man. Let me knock this out. All right, homie. All right, cool. Right. So, all right, we're going to control our spending and we're going to work more. The reason we're doing that is because, hold on, let me bring something up. Remember, the way you make money is the way you get rich is you make more money than you spend and invest the difference over a long period of time. Let me show you something. So if we pull up the trusty compound interest calculator. All right. You can show it. So let's say you got $2,000. All right, boom. Let's say you said you start making more money than you spend. You're able to put aside $2,000 a month, right? Let's say you did that for 10 years. Let's say you did that 20 years because it's meager, right? And you invested it in the S&P 500, which has an average annual return of 10%. So really, really conservative. This is really the most conservative shit you can do, right? We calculate this shit, right? After 20 years, you have almost $1.4 million, right? At year 10, you'd have 300, close to 400 grand, right? But I really think that these numbers are conservative because I think over the next 4 years, I think we're going to see some dramatic jumps. I think it's going to be way more than 10%. I think we have the possibility. The market has spoken. The market told us what they think. The financial markets have told us what they think about a Trump presidency. I think we should just listen to them because that's where most of the money in the world is, right? So I think we should just listen to them. They're excited, and I think we need to get excited too. But let's say, man, you fucking went super hard. Let's just double this. Let's double this. What happens? What happens? Oh man, that shit turns into a lot more money, man. Now we getting close to 3 million, right? And then you close to 1 million in 10 years, right? But I still think these numbers are conservative, especially this one, the amount of compounds, right? And this is just the S&P 500 average returns, right? What if you could do better than that? What if you could do better than that? And that leads us to the third thing we need to do is we need to develop skills. Right? We need to develop skills. Because if you can develop skills, you might be able to make more money, not just in the markets, but tons of things, right? So we need to figure out some sort of high income skill. High income skill, specifically for business. If you're starting a business, or even if you're an employee, right? If you want to have a job, for example, my top sales guy last year, he made I think around $400,000 last year, right? But he's really good at sales, right? He's really good at sales, and that's a high income skill, right? If you know how to work AI, that can be a high income skill. If you know how to Nima's a video editor, right? For like my man Nemo over here, he's a video editor for a famous handsome YouTuber, right? That's a high income skill. You feel me? Right? You need to figure out things that help you get more money during this, right? Because not only do we want to work more, we want to get paid. Because if you have a high income skill, right, then you can work more and get paid more for the time you work. Right. If you don't have high income skills, then you got to do like labor shit, low income skills, drive Uber, DoorDash, fucking baggage claim. And I'm not dissing those people, right? The only difference between them and someone with a high income skills, the person with a high income skill took the time to learn that, right? They're not better people or worse people. It's just other people get paid more for their time because they have the leverage of skills, right? So you need to get that too. So when you're working more, you can get paid more. You can get paid more for the time you work, right? But that doesn't mean work less. Like sometimes people's like, man, why not just get a job that pays more and work 40 hours? Because we want to maximize our earning potential. We're not trying to see what's the least we can do. We're trying to fucking maximize our earning potential so we can take advantage of this fucking bull run that I think America is about to experience for the next 4 years, at least. I don't know what's going to happen after that, but for the next 4 years, you develop that high income skill, right? And then, another thing you can do for that is to, I'm sorry. In some ways you can learn your high income skills is you can take classes, go back to college. Coursera, they have class. It's like online college organization, right? I'm taking a class on Coursera right now. It's at my own pace, but it's like right now, it's some shit on AI. Learn. I'm always learning. You can buy courses from other people. You can join masterminds, mentorships. You can pay mentors. Whatever you need to do to acquire these skill sets. Fucking enroll back in college. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. Develop these high income skills, right? Next thing we need to do is invest in learning. Right? Like I tell you, I'm taking courses right now. I'm taking a course on Coursera. I'm part of different masterminds. I spend this year was the first year I didn't spend over $100,000 on my own education. And the only reason I didn't do it this year is because I was a speaker at a lot of different masterminds. Like my boy Jeremy, he has a mastermind, a pretty successful one with a lot of high net worth people. And I speak at that, right? But I'm able to actually attend the shit too, right? So, but up until like this year, I've spent over like $100,000 on my education. But I spent a lot of money this year too. Like I still buy courses. I still buy programs. I read 2 books per week. I've been doing that for over 15 years. Like whatever you need to do, invest and learn, even if it's just books, even if it's just free shit online, if that's all you can afford, then do that. Then you invest the time. All right. Right. And then the next thing you need to do is learn how to invest in the market. Let's go. Markets. We'll say markets. And when I say markets, I mean the real estate market. I mean the stock market, the crypto market, right? You need to learn how to invest in these things. You can't just throw money at the shit. Now, because what I said, like throwing money at the shit, that's, if you don't want to learn this shit, then you need to just buy an index fund, S&P 500, right? But I've got better, an individual investor can beat the market, right? The reason that hedge fund investors can't beat the market because they are the market, right? They're going against themselves, right? The market is moved by institutional investors, right? Not retail investors like you and I, right? So they're like playing against themselves. That's why it's difficult for them to beat the market. But we can, because we're not moving billions of dollars around, and right. But you really need to learn how to invest. If you do these things, now check this out. Right. If you work more and control spending, remember, how do you get rich? Make more money than you spend and invest the difference. Right. Again, when you invest it in either your own business, real estate, or the stock market. I'll throw crypto in there too, right? It seems super valuable right now, right? But in order to have, you got to have money to invest. So when you work more and control your spending, then you have money to invest. Right? When you develop skills and you work more, that combination, right? Then you make more money. Right. And then when you control your spending and develop skills, now you're in control, right? You gain control of your own destiny, right? Right now you're in control, right? Because you got skills, right? So now you can kind of set your own path, right? And you're controlling your spending, so you have more just real control over your outcomes, right? When you can do these things. And I really think that's the roadmap to getting rich in 2025, right? If you got some goals that you're setting, I got a free goal and habit tracker, right? That'll help you with that. The link is in the description. Download that for now. Now you don't have to put your email in or anything. It's just a Notion template to help you plan out your goals and track your habits to make sure you're on the right track. Right. And if you want to learn a high income skill, right, during the recession, after my father killed himself, I was working all those jobs, but they were like mostly like labor, blue collar type jobs, like moving companies and shit, security and, personal training, right? Very low level jobs. Right. And I developed the skill of online training. I was one of the first people to do online training. I was in that class of people who pioneered it. Right. And that's how I really started making way more money, and I was able to start investing, and that's how I got rich, right? If you want to learn how you can start your online fitness business, I got a free ebook called The 10 Commandments of Online Training, right? And it'll start moving you down that path where you can learn about it. Maybe it's a viable option for you. Maybe it's not. But if you like fitness and you like helping people accomplish your goals, for me, that was something that I didn't mind working hard at, right? I didn't mind putting in 80 hours a week, helping people get in great shape. It was a lot of fun to me. I enjoyed it. I enjoy it to this day. I still train people, and you might enjoy that too. That might be right. That might be something that you enjoy, because if you can find something that you enjoy, then this 80 hours a week is not as arduous. It doesn't seem as difficult, right? That's if online training was for me. Maybe it'll be for you too, right? Click the link in the description, and you can download that ebook for free. All right. Real quick, I know we got some super chats. I'm gonna get to them right after we do the market update with the homie Young Candlestick, but I'm gonna get to your super chats. All right, let's go. Young Candlestick, what up?
You guys, Brandon shared a really important video earlier in this episode. I hope you listen.
Yeah.
That was a really good video.
Thanks, man.
Trump might do anything it takes to keep the market.
Oh, no. Listen, one thing I know about Trump is, Trump is going to make sure he looks good.
Yeah.
He's going to make sure he looks good, and he'll do anything possible to make sure the fucking economy is doing great.
We're certainly in a buy the dip environment. We can take a look at the S&P 500. And back in August, if you guys have been paying attention to the market updates, I said S&P 500 target of 600 on the spot.
You said it. All you got to do is watch Victory Talk and listen and do what Greg says. You'll make money.
Not every single trader idea is going to make money, but most of them tend to make you money.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, since that point, the S&P 500 has gone up 12% in just months. And Brandon was showing you that compound interest calculator. The S&P 500 normally averages 10% a year. So we're way ahead of pace. So you look at that in two different ways. We're overbought and we can come back in, or we're starting a new regime. One of those two things is going to be the case. And when Brandon was saying that the market has spoken, he's right. The market leads the economy by about 6 months. So by the time you hear that we're in a recession, oftentimes the market tends to actually bottom when it's like announced that we're in a recession. So if you hear everybody talking about how we're in a booming economy, everything's going great, that's how you know we're going to probably be nearing a market top. That's something to consider. Brandon also mentioned inflation. It's really important to understand the correlation between interest rates and inflation. Trump likes low interest rates. When interest rates are low, that's good for the economy. There's more dollars to spend in the economy, but also more inflation. And we have the CPI inflation report, and that's just telling us, hey, what's the inflation like on goods and services? Is it up or is it down? And that's going to be tomorrow. So the market's basically going to have an earnings report where it's projected to move only up or down by about 1%. I do think that that is slightly underpriced. If the market sells off like 2 or 3%, I do think that it is a dip buy. So you could take a short-term trade on that, or you can make longer-term investments. And I'll be giving you guys some individual stocks later on.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, man, like in the third quarter of 2024, the third quarter, not the fourth quarter we're in right now, the economy grew at a rate of 2.8%. Okay. Right? During the Biden, right? We were already in a bull market.
Yeah. We
were already in a bull. Like the economy is already super strong, right? The consumer consumer spending increased by 3.7% between July and September.
Boom. We've been in this bull market.
We've been in a bull market, and like you probably didn't know about it or hear about it because during political ads, everybody's gonna tell you how bad things are because fear is what gets attention. But they were overselling that shit. Shit has been fucking dope right now. Unemployment is the lowest it's been in the last 50 years.
If you bought when everybody was fearful, you'd be up.
Super up. Like they was bullshitting you. It was all fucking propaganda to get your votes, right? We've been in a bull market.
Yeah. Or the banks and institutions that run the market, they're buying up shares, selling fear out into the news, put out the fear, get people to dump their shares. They buy up those shares and drive the market perpetually higher. Yeah.
Like the inflation has been decreasing dramatically, right? Decreasing dramatically. It dropped last year. It dropped 6%,
and that's from the Federal Reserve doing their tightening policy, raising interest rates. That's how you squash inflation.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the only way. So just know what environment that we're in. If we're going to be in a high inflation, high growth type of period, you need to reinvest in yourself, reinvest in your businesses. Spend as little as possible. Most of the time you should spend as little as possible, but you really want to spend just a small portion of your total income.
If you can't invest half your income, you need to make more money and spend less. So we need to invest half our income.
Definitely. I completely agree. It's a really, really important tip because even if stocks go down, you can still have time for them to recover, and you still
Keep
have
buying.
cash. Like even if the markets drop pretty bad, like 10 or 20%, you still have that cash. Like
it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. So it's just a great wealth building habit. Just throw your brokerage on auto investments, boom. And before you know it, it'll just keep growing and snowballing.
My fault. I didn't mean to distract you. Tell me what was you saying about the Qs?
Yeah, so the Qs made all-time highs. Earlier, they were lagging the S&P 500. Now they did make all-time highs. That's telling us that there's more confirmation for the bull market as of right now. Again, things could change if Trump does something crazy and like does some wacky tariff and like we don't know the impacts of that.
There's
Stocks
that.
can drop. So just be aware. But you just want to, manage your risk, manage your position size, and I think you'll be good. Okay, so QQQ, all-time highs. Nothing bearish about all-time highs.
Nah.
The IWM, this is the small caps. This is the Russell 2000. Nice big breakout. However, it's still not at its all-time highs of 244. So if the IWM breaks through all-time highs, that's more confirmation that there's a strong bull market. And you can buy individual stocks that are maybe undervalued and have some catch-up room to go.
Come on.
Okay. Another leading indicator for the overall market are the semiconductors. So semiconductor chips are super important when it comes to AI. They really need like strong, fast chips to process all that data. So I think the semiconductors are going to give a further hint as to whether we're going to continue much up higher from here or down from here. If the semiconductor ETF breaks underneath 240, that's on SMH, that would be bearish for the market. It hasn't broken it yet. It would be super bullish for the market if the semiconductors broke above 262. If I had to go long just one or two semiconductor stocks, I would pick the ones that Nancy Pelosi are in, ABGO, Broadcom, and then NVIDIA. Those would be my top two semiconductor stocks. If I'm short semiconductor stocks, my top one is Micron, MU. It's just a weaker chart, weaker stock, and I would short AMD. AMD is starting to look a little bit more bearish in the short term. But again, I'm open-minded. I'm of the position that we're going to continue this bull market. Okay.
Yeah.
As of right now, because the VIX, the volatility and fear index, has now finally broken down. The election uncertainty is over.
Yeah.
So now stocks can potentially rally. If we take a look at the fear and greed index, we are at greed. People are getting a bit euphoric. I'm seeing a lot of people posting about Bitcoin and the market, which is great, but it's just a small warning sign. I don't think we've topped. If we started to get to extreme greed, like a 100 or a 90 out of 100 over here, like a 90, that would be bearish. And then like you want to be counter what everybody else is thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So that's the VIX. That's the volatility and fear index. Let's talk about some individual stocks though. Last time we talked about ISRG, surgical robots. Yeah. Brandon, you said the setup looked good.
I like it.
This is the trade.
Come on, man.
Up 5%, new all-time highs.
You can literally just watch the market update segment of Victory Talk, take the trades, and make money. Straight up.
I want you to make money. I want everybody to.
We want you to make money. We want you to win.
There is nothing more satisfying than helping people make money.
Come on, man.
Like getting people in shape and helping people make money. It's very fun. Like
two of my favorite things.
Of course. So that's ISRG on Friday, by the way, from Thursday into Friday when we mentioned it. I'm not condoning trading 0-day call options, but a 0-day call option on ISRG went from $30 to $600.
Whoa.
$30 to $600 just on Friday. If you just bought at the open when it broke all-time highs and just held all day on Friday.
Wow.
I'm not saying I took that trade, but I'm just saying there's powerful moves that can happen in options world.
For sure.
Yeah. This is actually an alert I made for victory trades last week. ELF. And so this is ELF Beauty. It's kind of like a competitor to Ulta. And
I don't know what none of that is, but let's get it. I like making money.
Apparently the women use it a lot, so we can make money
fuck with that elf shit.
Off of women making themselves more beautiful.
Shout out to that. Shout out to that. They're doing God's work. That's what they're doing.
they beat on their earnings, Elf, and then they gapped up and they started to break this little range. So I took a long position near the 120 area, and then literally just on Monday, just took profits at the open, nice and simple. Elf got price target upgrades. I do think the stock can probably hit 150, but I'd like to wait for a dip first. I'd like to buy it again at 120. So there's a potential trade idea / alternative single stock investment if you're up for that. No, this is financial advice. I'm just telling you.
Look, if you want to, me and Greg, we trade live every morning. Like we day trade. I trade futures. Greg does futures and a bunch of other stuff. We do it live every morning. If you want more information on that, or just you want to learn about the stock market or anything, join our free Discord. Yeah. The Victory Unit Discord. I got free courses in there too, about getting money. Excuse me, Baller Mindset course. I got a free fat loss course in there. Right. And Greg in there is giving tips.
Yeah.
And if you want to trade with us live, then you can join Victory Trades. Just go in there and send Greg a message if you want to trade with us live. But if not, that's cool too. Yeah. Then just fuck with the free shit,
Of course, definitely. Just get a feel for the market, paper trade, get familiar with the market. I will say in Victory Trades, I send out swing trade alerts in the Discord. And since we started Victory Trades, there hasn't been a single losing trade.
Not a losing trade. 100% and my day trading, I've been green every day too.
You've been crushing it on day trading. We both had normal green days today. We had a green day yesterday. You had a green day yesterday. I had a red day yesterday. That's okay.
Yeah, you had a red day. I had a green day. It'd be like that.
It happens, and then you just want to learn from it and keep getting better. Day trading tends to have a higher learning curve, but swing trading is great if you have a full-time job. You can't sit in front of the markets all day. Everybody can invest. Of course,
we do both, man. Yeah, let's go. Let's keep going.
Last week, I gave a trader tip to help remind you to buy this stock.
Yeah,
this is him stock, and
we talked about it. Shout out to the Victinators who shouted it out on the pocket. That they brought it to our attention, and now we started trading on it.
It was first brought up at about this like 2250. I said, wait for a dip down to 19. It dipped exactly down to 1850. And then from 1850 up 58%. And I noted this on Thursday. I gave you guys a trading tip. Before your trading day, have sex. Once you have sex right before the trading day, you're nice and calm. Okay. So that and I say that because hims and hers stock, they help with them.
Oh yeah, they sell Viagra and Cialis and shit. I got you. I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
I did give a price target of $30 a share. It almost got there at about $29.68. So now moving forward, if HIMS comes back to about $23.50, that can be a potential support area. Okay.
All right.
So retest, you could sell cash secured puts at $23.50. Boom. There you go. There's another trade idea. Disney I've been talking about for a while, and it took some time. Went long near the 94 level. Disney's up 7.5%. I think. What's up, Brandon?
Black Panther 3 coming out.
Oh, there we go. And
Denzel.
That'll factor into Disney's earnings.
That will factor in.
That will factor in.
Denzel Washington joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The fucking Equalizer.
That'll be fun. We got to do like a watch party or something.
Yeah. Continue.
But Disney basically has earnings on November 14th. So it could go up or down by quite a bit. Usually about $10 is the expected move. So Disney could go up or down by about 8%. I do have a price target on Disney of 115, but I'm really proud of the Disney trade because on a risk adjusted basis, Disney was a less risky buy than some of these other individual stocks because it's blue chip stock. So keep an eye out for Disney. Now I want to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin. So when you had Mr. Organic on the podcast, we were screaming, I'm buying Bitcoin. I'm buying Bitcoin. And since then, Bitcoin's up 25%, 24%. And this is really cool because this is confirming the Trump trade. Bitcoin's talking about being a like potential reserve currency. If that happens, Bitcoin could hit 100, 200, 300K. I'm in the camp that Bitcoin hits about 120,000.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, but it may take a few years, and really 120,000 isn't that far up from here. 120,000 is only 35% up from here. That's nothing.
That's nothing, bro.
You can take a look at some of the altcoins like Dogecoin. I saw your story, Brandon, throwing away intelligent investing. Dogecoin's up a lot in the past few months, and it's kind of like a higher beta stock. It moves more than the overall Bitcoin market. I don't think that Dogecoin is a buy right now, but maybe if it comes into a support area, like 22 cents, maybe it could be just for like a trade. I'm not going to invest in Dogecoin.
Yeah.
One trade that I took for the Victory Trades members and made a public YouTube video about was on BITX, and this is a double levered Bitcoin long.
Yeah, you were telling me about this.
And I'm not going to get super nerdy into like the options and stuff like that. I just want to show that this is a trade where I pretty much make money no matter what. Now, what's cool about this is the trade expires this Friday, so in just 3 days. If Bitcoin stays the same price or goes up, I make only $28. Okay, cool. If Bitcoin sells a little bit, I'm going to make $280. If Bitcoin sells a lot, I make $280 cash, but I'll lose $100 every dollar that it's beneath $44 a share. But guess what? That just means I got assigned on it. And that's
so you're doing what does this trade look like?
This is called a back ratio. So here's
build it real quick.
So it's just a put debit spread and a cash secured put. So what I did was I made a put debit spread. I bought.
You're gonna sell a put.
First, let's make the put debit spread. I bought the 46 put, sold the 44 put. If I just did this would be just a bearish trade. I'd be risking about $30 to make $170. But I can edit the ratio right here, and I can sell 2 of the 44 puts. Again, not to get super nerdy. I just want to show the risk profile right here on Robinhood. Okay, here we go. And then I want to hit continue. And I got 0.28 in credit. So this is super cool. So look at the right over here. So this is where I'll make about here's where I'll make $20. It's actually 28. But if Bitcoin goes up, I make $28. If Bitcoin
how much you risk?
You're technically just risking the shares because you're putting up the cash put. And then if it sells off a little bit, look, you make plus 220. It actually should be 280. And even if it sells off, it'll be unrealized losses short term, but you can just get assigned
because you'll own that security.
And then you can sell covered calls. This is a fantastic strategy if you think the stock is super overbought, but you want to buy it and you want to get paid to buy it, but you want to do it in like the safest way possible and like pretty much guarantee that you're going to get paid.
She gets crazy with those options, especially those spreads.
Yeah.
Greg's the master at that shit.
Basically, we win in multiple scenarios. So that's pretty cool. So BITX, so I would literally break even if Bitcoin by this week dumps like 12%. So that's what's cool about it. And even if it's a flash crash, I'll just get assigned and I can sell covered calls on my entry. So that's a trade idea for tomorrow if you want to take it and know how to execute it.
All right.
We talked about Hive buying the dip near 350. Hive up 51%. Hive, I have a price target of 7. It's a bit overbought though. I wouldn't
buy it now. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin did something like a quick flash crash to flush out the weak hands. Yeah. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying don't be surprised if it happens. Like don't be surprised if crypto goes through a sharp drop. 2 more stocks. I want to talk about Tesla. We talked about Tesla buying the breakout over 270, leap call options, December call options.
Yeah.
Those printed a lot of money.
Yeah, they did.
Now Tesla finally showing a little bit of a reversal. This is an evening star reversal. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla sold maybe for 1, 2, or 3 more days. It could zip right back up. But if Tesla got back to like 300, I do think it's worth establishing a position, at least for me, a new position that is.
Or selling cash secured puts up there.
Cash secured puts. You can also trade TSLL stock, up 100% in just 2 weeks. So this is a double levered version of Tesla.
Oh, that's a double. Okay, got it. That's it.
Yeah, it's just easier for the wheel, but you can also do it on Tesla. Tesla, my 1 year price target is about 414. So I do think that Tesla has a good amount of upside from here. It's got about another 25% in the next year. Okay. And then I do think Tesla longer term can get past $700 a share. So $700 a share in the next 3 years plus. Be careful though. Tesla's a volatile stock.
It's volatile.
It's overvalued from traditional valuation metrics. But if they get full self-driving and they get the subscription for full self-driving, some say that can be bigger than Netflix's total market cap. So just one aspect of Tesla could be way bigger than Netflix.
Wow.
So that's something to consider. Lastly, I just want to leave you guys with a potential trade idea. And crude oil is starting to look like it wants to break down. This is the weekly chart, and we've been in a downtrend. Lower highs, lower lows. Lower highs equal low, lower high, lower high. Then we started to make a lower low, lower high. Now we're starting to get into this kind of like breakdown formation. So if crude oil, CL, you could trade this on futures. I'll show you some ETFs in a bit. If this really breaks underneath like $66 a barrel and you see the volume coming on in, you could see a bigger breakdown on crude oil. And I think it could drop about 20%.
Oh, wow.
So gas prices could be 20% cheaper, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a decent amount.
Yeah.
Some ways to capitalize off of the potential crude oil drop is SCO. This is a triple levered inverse oil ETF. This goes up 3 times. Every 1%.
You just buy that. Yeah.
Yep. You can simply just buy this. You can wheel it. If you want to, you can trade USO options. This is the base ETF, and you can buy like leap put options. You could buy leap put spread.
Wow.
So that's a potential way to profit from the potential oil drop. Again, just an idea for now. I'll wait for confirmation.
All right. Does Greg have any super chats? Let me know why I see it. But first of all, I got a question. Yeah, can you remember? Can you just remind them when I called out Axon Enterprise? Can you just remind them when I just remind them when I called it out? Like at what level? I said maybe you should buy Axon.
I was gonna bring this up like earlier, but there was just not enough time. Brandon Carter brought up Axon Enterprises down at $327 a share.
That's right.
That was literally like 2 or 3 months ago. That was August 7th. Since then, the stock is up 82%. 82%.
I don't know what else I got to do. I don't know what I don't know what else I got to do. What else I got to say?
There was like barely any pullbacks too. So like this is like a peaceful hold. Sometimes stocks that like go up that much, you have to like brace for impact. You get like bucked off the trend. They try to hunt your stop losses.
Nah, man, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
There's another one that I just feel like I should bring up, man. Can you remind me when I brought up Garmin?
Oh yeah, I was going to bring up TTD. That stock is up a lot.
Yeah. Well, tell me why I brought that up too. That
was brought up again early August. TTD on this day,
about 2 months ago.
Yeah, TTD up 36%.
Come on, man.
That's ETF 500. GRMN Garmin. Wow.
Yeah. When did I bring that up?
You brought up Garmin during this nice consolidation phase, which was, boom, a perfect accumulation phase. So whenever you see stock prices go sideways, they're going to break one way. They can break up or they can break down. Eventually it broke up, retested the breakout area, went up, stayed, retested within the breakout area, and then earnings shot it up. When I was analyzing this, I noted, hey, this candle right here, wait for like a resting bar.
You said that too. We gave them many opportunities to get into Garmin.
Super easy. And we gave the trade setup. I even like showed the stop loss. I showed the take profit. Here's your buy candle right here. You put your stop loss underneath that pivot, and then you make money as it goes up.
I'm just saying, man. Real quick, man. I don't know if I called this out, but I definitely asked you about Spotify.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's check it out.
But we said that earnings, maybe we should stay away from it.
I think, I think I actually gave like a bearish move on this. So this was one I was wrong.
Okay.
I was just saying if it breaks the trend line, it could drop. It did drop for like 2 or 3 days. But if it doesn't,
my fault. I'm on the wrong Afai. But that one's cool. I meant to say Spotify. No, yes. Shopify. I'm on the wrong Afai.
Shopify, we did go a little bit more bullish because it was undervalued. Yeah. Look at that shit.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Maybe you should join the victory unit.
That's amazing.
You should join the victory unit.
a quick lesson on Shopify, a nice peaceful consolidation period where it stays in a tight channel. Notice how it breaks out. The volume starts to increase down here. And that's confirming the buying pressure. And then it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. And then you get a massive gap up. Shopify up 21% just today.
Yo, I'm just saying, yo, Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah, let's check it out. BRK/B.
Yeah.
Berkshire, yeah. Again, this one was kind of all over the place, and you did note a buy, and this was kind of like that zone. Boom, that was a buy right there.
Yeah, I said that's where I would buy. But listen, you know, I mean, I still think it got away. It's like I think it's consolidating.
Yeah, it is. It's a really messy chart because you're making a lower low into a higher high. That's kind of like a broadening formation. Those are really tricky to anticipate. I would take a look at just the holdings of Berkshire and then chart those out. And then if you see breakouts on the holdings of Berkshire, that's going to give you a good indication of where it's likely going to go.
It's lagging XLF.
Okay. It's kind of lagging the overall markets because the markets are at all-time highs. This one's at a lower high. Sometimes it just needs to consolidate and digest. I think Warren Buffett's sitting on a decent amount of cash right now.
Yeah.
Maybe he's waiting to deploy it. But yeah, XLF, a nice good breakout. I think XLF's a dip buy near the 47.50 area.
Yeah.
Area to sell cash secured puts on. Otherwise, for me, it's just a little bit too extended to buy. I just got to wait.
Yeah, I feel that. All right, cool, man. Listen, if y'all want to learn more about this, man, join our free Discord, the Victory Unit. We give out free advice. I got free courses about fitness and mindset as well. But if you want to like learn more about stock, Greg's in there every day. And if you want to trade with us every morning, get Greg's trade alert straight to your phone, right? You join Victory Trades. Just go in the Discord, hit up Greg, hit up Young Candlestick, the real Young Candlestick.
Yeah, just
there'll be some
in the trading chat.
There'll be some
Young Candlestick.
There'll be some fakers in there, man. You just gotta make sure you're talking to Greg. Yeah, but we'll never ask you for like no Bitcoin and no shit like that.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
we don't reach out to you first. We don't like send you friend requests.
Yeah,
I don't like talk about like stock moo. I don't like try to get you to put money into a crypto wallet.
Nah. Just hit us up.
I'm not afraid to hop on a call in Discord if we have a DM. So if you want to hop on a call, the imposters won't do that. Yeah,
come on, man. So if you want to trade with us in Victory Trades, we trade every morning. I'm gonna see you tomorrow morning, Greg.
See you tomorrow morning.
All right, for sure, man. I'll let y'all. Peace.
All right, peace.
Let me run through these. Let me run through these super chats.
We have ketosis makes the hose drop. King Keto, how do you adapt your goals?
You make the hose drip.
Oh, ketosis makes the hose drip.
Yeah.
You right.
Come on, babe. Come on. Hey, babe.
I'm getting hungry. King Keto, how do you adapt your goals when faced with unexpected challenges or opportunities?
I think challenges should be expected, right? Like nobody's going to stroll to their goal, right? That don't even happen in Hollywood, right? You never see no movie about somebody had to defeat a villain and it wasn't arduous, or he didn't have to expend a lot of energy. He didn't come up through challenges. It didn't look like he was going to fail at some point, right? All your heroes, every movie you love, it was difficult for the hero to accomplish the goal. And I think you need to make peace with that going into it, knowing it's not going to be easy. A lot of the pain we experience is us expecting it to be easy or hoping it's easy, right? That's where a lot of the pain comes from, or the emotional pain. Right, because think about what is a negative emotion? A negative emotion is merely life not conforming to your preferences, right? But there's no version of reality where life will ever conform to all of your preferences. And if you make peace with that, right? If you make peace with that going into it, then you'll be able to deal with those circumstances a lot more effectively, right? Imagine like if you miss your flight or there's traffic or something like that. Let's say you're in traffic, she's spazzing out. He's spazzing out because he would prefer there to be no traffic and he can get to his destination quickly and easily, right? But life is not conforming to those preferences. but it's not life's responsibility to conform to your purposes. And once you make peace with the fact that it never will, it's not life's responsibility to conform to your purposes. You make peace with that, then it's easier to deal with, right? So it's not the challenge that's painful. It's the fact that you wanted it. It's the fact that you wanted it to be easy, right? If you didn't want it to be easy, just think about it. What would it look like if you didn't want it to be easy? If you didn't care if it was easy or not, right? And it was difficult, but you would have to deal with the emotions of it, right? And you could just do what was necessary without having to deal with emotions. The way you do that is to understand life will never conform to all your preferences. And once you make peace with that, what's going to happen is, for me, I look at it like, if I know life's not going to conform to my preferences, right? It'll never be like that where everything I want just happens. If I know that, then getting emotional about life not conforming to my preferences seems immature to me. You know what I'm saying? It actually seems immature to me if I get upset about something I know is going to happen. Does that make sense? Right? I know that anything I want to accomplish that's big, monumental, there's going to be a lot of challenges and it's going to be difficult. That's why it's impressive. Right? If it was easy, like they say, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Right? If you make peace with the fact it's not going to be easy, then you don't get emotional about the difficulty. Right? So I think it's more about how you enter that situation. You got to understand that everything's not going to be easy. You're not going to stroll to your goal. It's not going to be a cakewalk. You're going to have a bunch of challenges. If you go into it knowing that and just do it anyway, then you don't have the negative emotions that are associated with it, and you can just do what's necessary. And as far as opportunities come, you don't have to take advantage of every opportunity. You know, there'll be more than coming. It won't be the only one, right? Like a lot of them are just sexy distractions. You know, you need to stay the course. Most of the time you need to stay the course. You feel me?
We have Karanja Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, just wanted to let you know I begun using the success tracker a month ago and have already doubled my income. Thank you.
Yo, I had to take a picture of this. Yo, that's what I'm talking about. Come on, the success tracker is free. It's linked in the bio. Shout out to you, homie. I made that shit for me, and I just gave you all the shit.
We have Extra Guac, Green State of Mind, love it.
Oh, that's what I said earlier. Yeah. At first, I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? But then I was like, oh, yeah, I said that.
We're talking about both Democratic parties.
Yeah.
Kalik? Bro, I'm in college. Should I just quit?
No. You know what? Let me give him more context. Statistically, people who go to college. Hold on, my girl's typing something. You should definitely stay in college. Statistically, college graduates make more money, twice as much money as people who only have college degrees. Statistically, they make more money, right? Also, like, you're gonna learn a lot in college, man. Like if I couldn't, like, I don't know, I do the accounting for my business. I don't know where I would have learned accounting. I mean, maybe you can teach yourself for yourself. I mean, people say you can hire an accountant. Yeah, but what if you don't know what the fuck he's talking about? He can potentially rip you off, right? You know what I'm saying? And some people will say, oh man, but they make more, but what about the debt? No one told your ass to go into debt to go to college, bro. That's fucking, if you listen, you listen to me. If you went into college and now you got a lot of debt, no one told you to go to expensive college, right? The state, you could have went to a state school. In-state tuition on average in the United States is $4,000. I'm sorry, on the United States, it's $10,000. In-state tuition on average in America is $10,000, right? In Florida, it's $4,000. You do not need to go into fucking debt for that. You do not need to go into debt for $4,000. You can make that working part-time at Foot Locker, making fucking lattes at Starbucks, driving Uber, right? $4,000 should not put a motherfucker in debt, right? That's in Florida. It's different in different states, right? But no one told you to go to the most expensive school. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't have to do that, right? But then you can also get grants, financial aid. It's like, all that shit is like fucking bullshit, crybaby shit. Like, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. And when you hear people say, man, I went to college and I didn't even learn nothing, that's not a fucking flex, bro. That's a sign of stupidity. Because in college, you get to pick your own majors and you get to pick the classes and the teachers. Like, you pick the shit. That's your fault if you didn't learn something. Hey, when I was in college and I took a class that I felt like I didn't like, I dropped the class. I dropped the fucking class. Like, if you went to college, paid for it, and didn't learn, every time from now on, when you hear somebody say that shit, I want you to think in your head, oh, this motherfucker's retarded. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all his fault. And now he's complaining on it. You didn't have to pick that school. You picked that school. You picked that major. And you picked the classes. You got to make your own schedule. That's all your fault, dumbass. Of course, your dumbass didn't learn anything. You stupid. Motherfuckers say that shit like it's a flex. Man, I went to college, I ain't learned nothing. It's your fault, dumbass. Shut your dumb ass up, man. Yo, no one told you to major in liberal arts. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the fuck you did, right? And if you went to an expensive, man, I got all the school debt. Hey, no one told you to go to expensive school, dummy. You could have went to fucking a state college, right? You Florida State, $4,000. Hey, guess what? In fucking Florida, there's a lot of states had this program. If you get fucking decent grades, not even good grades, you go to college for free. If you go to a state school, it's paid for by the lottery. Free. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a high school kid, listen to this. All you got to do is get all A's, and then you can get an academic scholarship to any school you want. Almost not any school you want, but you can get a academic scholarship to a good school and go to school free. I know a lot of kids who went to school for free. You may be, I got to get all A's. I got to get all A's. Well, let me show you something, man. Let me just show you something. All right. What percentage of high school students get all A's?
The percentage of high school students who get all A's varies depending on the source, the criteria for grading, and the region. Generally, it's a relatively small percentage of students who achieve a perfect GPA. In the United States, estimates often range from around 1% to 5%, but this can fluctuate widely.
Okay. Well, maybe that didn't support my argument. But it's not hard to get all A's. Like, high school is fucking easy, bro. High school is easy.
Absolutely. High school can...
Shut up. What GPA does a high school student need to have to get an academic scholarship at a regular college?
For academic scholarships at many colleges, a high school student typically needs a strong GPA, often in the range of 3.5 to 4.0 on an unweighted scale. However, the exact requirements can vary widely.
3.5 is nothing. 3.5 is nothing, bro. Okay. 3.5 is easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? So no, don't. Okay, that wasn't the question. Should he quit college? No, man. Finish. Like, statistically, you're going to be way better. You're going to be in a way better position. You know, and it's not difficult. Like if you can't handle college, being a man in the real world is way more difficult than college, brother. It's way more difficult, like significantly more difficult. You know, college was a cakewalk compared to like building a multi-million-dollar business. I did both. And building like college was significantly easier and more fun. You know what I'm saying? It's lit. What else we got?
We have Donut Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Brandon.
What up, Donut?
Hey, Brandon. I'm in welding school and graduate in April. I'm going to work 80 plus hours a week and save 50%. Is Section 8 a good avenue to put my income in?
Yeah, I think Section 8 is good income. Is you know, it's yeah, I think that's fantastic. Section 8 real estate. I think if you diversify in both of them, I think you'll be in good shape, man. Section 8 is good for income, right? Real estate is good, like renting properties is good for income. Where stock market is best for appreciation, right? Unless you're trading, then you can do income. All right. Anyway, guys, listen. This has been another episode of that Victory Talk podcast. If you haven't already, I got a free ebook called The 10 Commandments of Online Training. Show you how to grow your online fitness business. It's a really good book. I like it a lot, and it's interactive. So I give examples for each example. I give examples of a student who accomplished, who used each commandment to accomplish their goals, and then there's a link with a video of an interview with that student talking about it. So it's like an interactive ebook. It's pretty dope. You should download it. It's free. Links in the description. Listen, guys, this has been another episode of Victory Talk Podcast. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.